Hi guys, it's nazor.ezeh and you're welcome again to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I don't know, see, I'm proud and happy to announce to you guys because I don't know when this video is going to go up, whether it's before we hit 2k or after we hit 2k, but I want to announce happily that we have hit what? We have hit 2,000 subscribers on this channel. And I go back over, drum roll. I'm so happy guys, we finally did it. YouTube is hard work, let me just leave it there. All right, today my goodness, do you people hear what I'm hearing? Listen to how loud somebody is blasting music in this compound. Who is that? I'm sorry guys, I had to go close the window. All right, so this video is, well, I won't say highly requested, but it was requested by people on Instagram. It's a potty training video. You've already seen the title. So first of all, let me put out a disclaimer. Nazor.ezeh is not a potty training expert, you know. Even though I've had 5 children, I'm not an expert in any way when it comes to potty training matters, but I try my best. All I know is that 3 of my children that went to school in Nigeria, the school greatly played a role. They really helped to potty train those children. I wouldn't have done it on my own. In fact, I don't even know how I could have ever done that on my own, but they helped and I assisted at home. So I'm going to give you some guidelines to follow, but first of all, I'm going to point some things out to you. First of all, before you start, your child must show readiness. If your child is not ready, if your child doesn't show signs of readiness, that,
you know what, mommy, I am ready for.
No, they're not going to talk and tell you, because most of the time when people start potty training their children are not yet talking. So there's no way they open their mouth and tell you,
Mommy, I am ready.
You're just going to watch out for signs in your child to show that they are ready for potty training before you start. If you do not see any signs of readiness, guess what? It's not gonna work. Everything you do will not work. So watch out for those signs. Another thing you should bear in mind on this journey is that there is no handbook for potty training. You get, what works for child A might not work for child B. Therefore, what worked for your friend's child might not work for your child. So you just have to tailor it like to your own child. Like, I don't know, you understand what I'm saying, right? There is no handbook. Just do it as it goes. Another one that is very important is that do not set a deadline for your child. You cannot set a deadline. Listen, your child does not need that pressure. Don't bear in mind that,
okay, I'm gonna potty train my child. I have to make sure that my child is fully potty trained before the clock 2.
It doesn't work like that. If you pressurize your child, if you put your child under pressure, everything you do will flop, because your child will be frustrated, you yourself will be frustrated, both of you will experience what they call burnout, and both of you are just gonna tire. So do not set any deadline. Don't put pressure on your child, okay? Another thing I want you to understand is that it is easier to potty train a child when the child is older. That's the fact. It's always very easy to potty train them when they are older, when their brain has developed enough, when they are able to verbalize their need to poo-poo or pee-pee. When they're old enough to be able to make the connection between feeling the urge to pee-pee or feeling the urge to poo-poo and actually going to the toilet. When they're old enough to do these things, it is easier. It's not like, okay, the age I'm talking about is maybe between 2 years and, okay, no, you know what? Maybe starting from 1 year and 6 months to 2 years, you know, or even above 2 years. When they are, you know, that's when their brain is able to understand the concept of potty training, you get. Also, that's when they are able to sit on the potty long enough for them to actually pee-pee or poo-poo. Because when they are younger, it's hard to get them to sit. They will start crying. They will get tired. Their bum will start to pain them. They will start crying you will just get frustrated when they are younger. But when they are older, they can sit long enough for them to be able to do something. You can actually train your child before they turn 18 months. That's 1 year and 6 months. And you can even train them before they turn 2. But the thing is that it's going to take longer. Your child will not be fully potty trained until they are 2 years or even 3 years. So why not wait till they are 2 years so that you can now start? And that 2 years is when it's going to be very effective, because it's important that they understand the concept of whatever they are doing. But if you start before, it will take longer. I understand that diapers are expensive. That's why people are always in a rush to potty train their children. But let me tell you something. When you start earlier than 2 years, it takes longer. It's not very effective. So why not just cuckoo wait? Like me, I always wait till they are 2 years old, even though the school in Nigeria started from 16 months, 18 months. Still, they were not fully potty trained until they were about 3 or 4 years old. So I think that you should wait till 2, you get? Because when you start potty training, studies have even shown that when you start potty training a child at 2, they are usually fully potty trained before they turn 3, or by 3 years old they are fully potty trained, because it's easier to teach something to somebody that actually understands what you're teaching them than teaching somebody that doesn't understand and you're doing trial and error until their brains are now fully developed enough to get it, you get? So wait till 2, okay? Another thing I want you to understand is that it is harder to train boys than it is to train girls. Why is it so? Like, I know, even from my children's self, I'm saying this one from experience and from experiences of other people, because people complain about these things. Why is it harder to train boys than girls? Is it because you can't really train them to stand and pee or to sit? See, I don't know why. But it's harder to train. Just know that it's harder to train boys than girls. So if you have a baby boy, just know it's going to take longer. Now, the first tip I will give you when it comes to potty training is that you should buy plenty potties. Buy at least 3 different kinds of potties that you can place in different areas of the house. I had to open the window again because teacher Ibu member. I opened the window now. Somebody is starting their car. Anyway, so I was saying, buy different potties to place around the house. Then I used to have about 3. I'll place one upstairs, I'll place one downstairs, I'll place one, like, different places where you know your child always goes. And then another thing is, buy potty that looks attractive, that your child can actually look forward to using. Don't buy all these plain potties that are very cheap but very boring to look at, you know. I feel like the more attractive it is, the more excited your child will be about potty training. If possible, take your child along with you when you're going to buy that potty. Let your child choose. Let them pick by themselves the one they want. It will also make them excited about using the potty. And thank goodness that there are so many beautiful and attractive potties these days. They even have the one that looks exactly like a toilet. They even have the one that when they poo, it sings. And that singing is like a reward. You know, I don't know if you find that type, but even if you don't find that type, buy attractive looking ones. You can even buy a plain one and then buy stickers and let your child decorate it with stickers. You know, when they like have this connection with their potty, it will make it easier for you to potty train them. I remember when I tried to, because Zite, I had to potty train her myself. My mom actually helped her, but it took me a while to be able to potty train her. But when my mom came, she was older, so it was easier for her to grasp the concept. So when I started training Zite, I went out and bought her a potty. She didn't go with me to choose, but I bought it and then she decorated it with stickers by herself. And after she did that, I noticed that she was really excited about the potty. Well, it shall wore off. The excitement wore off after a little while. But the point is that it made her excited about the potty. She really loved that potty. It's just that she just didn't like sitting on it. And I think it's if you're able to buy a potty that looks like an actual toilet, buy that one. Because some children, you know that there are some children that don't even like using potty. Some children just go straight to big toilets. One of my kids did that, Nano. She never used potty for one day. She just went straight to the big toilet. She just wanted the big toilet as per big girl that she was back then, even though she was just about 2 years old. So some babies like to use the big toilet. So if you don't want them to use the big toilet out of fear that they might fall inside it and you're gonna flush them by mistake, then buy the potty that looks like an actual toilet for them. Now, another thing you should do is try to try to use vocabulary that will make your child get familiar to that event of potty training. That is the poo-poo or pee-pee event. For example, Boo-boo now, he doesn't talk, but he understands things. So when I'm changing his diaper, let's say he pooed, I'm changing him, I'll constantly keep saying, oh, you poo-pooed. poo poo, oh poo poo shishi, oh shishi poo poo, so that he will understand that what is sitting in his potty, that thing that is there, is actually poo poo, so that he will begin to understand. Or you say pee pee, if he pees, like sometimes I take off his diaper and he pees on the floor and I'm like, oh boo boo pee 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 pee, so that he will know that that is actually pee and that is actually also poo, so that he will begin to link it. You get? I don't know if you're understanding. Let me know if you're following me in the comments section. Now, there's something they call bowel training. I don't know if you've ever heard of bowel training. What it means is that you're trying to familiarize your child with the concept, that sensation. Yeah, not concept, sensation. You're trying to familiarize your child with the sensation of pooing or peeing. So, for example, this is what I used to do back then. And I'm still going to start doing it with boo boo now. When you notice that your child is about to start pooing, you always know. Some of them will go, maybe some of them have a particular spot they like to go to. I remember with Dindo, there was a particular window he would go and hold on to. Whenever he held on to that window, you will know that it's about to happen, it's about to go down. When he holds it, he will now start pooing. Some children will squeeze their face, some will do like this. You see my face? Their double chin will now come out. Especially if they are constipated. When you notice that your child is training to poo, rush them, carry them and put them on the potty and start saying, okay, poo poo, poo poo. Yeah, you're trying to poo poo. You can do it, poo poo. As you're saying that poo poo, they will get to know with time that word poo poo is actually them, that sensation. They will start to link it with that sensation they are feeling at that point when they're trying to poo or trying to pee. So that's what we call bowel training. I don't know, you have to see, this potty training thing is not easy. It's not easy. It's something you have to be determined about, and you have to really, really focus and be intentional about and bring out time for it. Some people do like they bring out like 2 days for it or 3 days for it, and they focus on that child. They watch that child. When they see any kind kurukere movement, potty will go. So this bowel movement thing is somehow like, you know what they call, I don't know, some of you, those of you that studied psychology, you know about classical conditioning. Ivan Pavlov and his dog, you know how he trained that dog that whenever he rings a bell, whenever he rang the bell, he will give the dog bone, food. Every time he rings the bell, he will give the dog the bowl of food. Then with time, the dog began to associate the sound of the bell. Whenever he rang the bell, the dog would now be expecting food, because each time the bell rang, he brought food. Each time the bell rang, he brought food. So sometimes you ring the bell and then the dog will be looking around, eager for the food. So it's the same thing with this bowel movement thing. Each time your child is trying to poo and you say poo 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 poo, you try to associate the words with the sensation, and then you put them on the potty. It will now make the child feel, whenever they feel that sensation of poo poo or pee pee coming, they will remember the potty. They will think of the potty. They will know that, okay, I'm trying to poo, I'm feeling that sensation of pooing, then I should go to the potty. Now, there's this thing I used to do for Sise back then. Every time she poo-pooed or pee-peed successfully in her potty, I will dance. Like, we will dance, we will sing, we will clap for her. As in, we made it a big deal, because she likes it when we clap for her. She likes it when we praise her. So we used to reward her with dancing or clapping or hailing her, or even giving her candy, because she loved lollipops. So I used to buy lollipops specially for potty training. So whenever she did it, I rewarded her with either dancing or singing or clapping or the lollipop, and then it made her eager to do it again. Now, like I mentioned, there are some potties that sing, so that even if you're not there with the child, once they poo-poo and it enters there, the thing starts singing. And if they like the sound, they begin to associate the singing with the poo-poo, and then they do it again and again and again. But disclaimer, it does not work for every child though. That's dancing and clapping of something. Like that's Zitena, for example. It's not every time that it used to work for her. Sometimes you will clap for her and sing for her. The next time she will still not want to go. But sometimes it works. So that's why I said that there is no handbook for this thing. It's as in, every child has their own way. So just study your child and know which one works for your child and go with the flow. Now, remember to reward your child though, after every successful potty training. Remember to, it's very, very important. Buy lollipops, just like I mentioned. Buy lollipops and be giving your child only when they poo-poo or pee-pee in the potty. And then when they get to know that, sometimes they will just go by themselves. When they think of that lollipop, the reward, they will go and poo-poo by themselves or go and pee-pee by themselves. That is what we want. Another thing you should do, teach them to wash their hands, whether they poo-pooed or pee-peed or not. As long as they have entered inside toilet, teach them to wash their hands. Do you know that in this country, before your child starts school, he or she has to be fully potty trained? And by fully potty trained, they don't only mean being able to use the toilet, they also mean them knowing how to wash their hands with soap after they are done. So start teaching your child from small to wash their hands with soap. Whether they poo-poo or they did not poo-poo, or whether they pee-pee or they did not pee-pee, teach them how to wash their hands with soap after they use the toilet. Please bear in mind that sometimes mistakes will happen. Mistakes would happen. Do not punish your child for mistakes, because they are still getting used to this thing. So sometimes they will not be able to control their bowel, and they will pee on their body or poo in their diaper if they are still wearing diaper, or even in their panties. Please don't punish them for it. I see stories of how some people beat their children when they make mistakes by peeing on the bed or something. It happens sometimes. Do you know that even 10 years old children, sometimes they make mistake and pee on the bed in the night, even though it happens once in a long while? Not to talk of somebody that is just learning how to potty train. Mistakes happen. Please don't punish your child for it. At the same time, sometimes they regress. Bear in mind that sometimes regression happens, which means that sometimes they will make progress, so you will feel like, oh, my child is almost fully potty trained, and then for the next week they might be peeing on themselves a lot or be pooing in their pants a lot. It's called regression, and it's normal. It happens sometimes. Please don't punish your child for it. As for night potty training, buy pull-ups. That's training diapers. These training diapers, buy pull-ups for your child, because it's work. Night potty training is work, because it means you have to be waking up very often to take your child to the toilet. Yeah, but my problem with that one now, especially for Zite, is the fact that when you wake Zite up, going back to sleep is a problem for her. She will now come to you and say,
I'm so scared, mommy, I'm so scared.
And then I will not have to stay awake with her until she sleeps. So she's not like the kind. There are some children that when you wake them up, take them to pee, it's annual sleeping eye that they will use to enter that toilet and pee. After peeing, they are still sleeping. You put them in bed and they will sleep from there. But not my Zite. But I'm still working on that night potty training. I haven't really started it, I will not lie. But sometimes she doesn't even pee. She still wears pull-ups to sleep at night. Sometimes for days, the pull-up will be dry in the morning, but sometimes she actually pees. But I'm going to start working on that night potty training one. But for night potty training, I'm just putting the information out there that what you need to do is buy training diapers, that's pull-ups, and then if you don't want to buy that, just their normal pants will do, but you have to be waking up to take them to pee. And then you can buy this, what they call that thing, Shebi is Macintosh, that thing they spread on the bed that is like leather, nylon. It has a texture I can't explain right now, so that when they pee on the bed, it doesn't actually penetrate the mattress. Buy that as well if you can buy that. Now, there are some people that when they want to, I almost mentioned it, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier in this video. Some people, if they want to potty train their child like a boot camp, like a training, 3-day training, I don't know if I should call it a boot camp, but there's this thing they do this 3-day potty training period. So what they do is that they make their child wear only pants, or even naked. They can wear only shirts, but bottom they are naked for 3 days. And then those 3 days, they're always watching the child. They have a time schedule of taking their child to the bathroom to make sure that the child is always peeing, or taking them to the potty, make sure they're always peeing and pooing. That's after they have familiarized them with those words, pooing and peeing. So they make sure they are always taking them. And when you do that, before 3 days, your child is fully potty trained. But the downside to that is the pressure. The pressure, like I said, it's not good to put pressure on these children, because the children that they put pressure on, they are the ones that tend to regress a lot, you know. So, well, I don't know what will work for you. All I'm doing is this video is putting out the information. Then you can pick and choose the ones you want to use and say the one that works for you, and the one that you feel that will not work for you, you can drop it right here. Finally, to round up everything I've said so far, all I have to say right now is that if not that diaper is expensive, I will just say leave your child. As they grow, they will learn these things. As they grow, they will get to understand that I'm not supposed to pee on my pants. I'm not supposed to poo on my pants. After all, have you ever seen an adult na nyon sin a nika? Have you ever seen an adult na ba milling a pants? Have you ever seen an adult that pees and poos on himself or herself? They get to know these things at a particular stage. So if not that Pampers is expensive, just leave your child. They will get to learn these things. Because I always say that, you see that potty training of maybe from 6 months. You know that some people start putting their babies on potty from 6 months. What will a 6 months old child learn when it comes to potty training, when their brain has not even fully developed? How will they make the connection of poo-pooing and potty? Some people start putting their children on potty that early. So anyway, all I know is that the age I would advise you, if you want effective potty training that actually works, target 2 years. Target 2 years. And within a year, your child will be fully potty trained. Even that from that 2 years, you can now do that 3-day boot camp potty training, and it will be very effective. If you do it from that 1 year, 6 months, 18 months, it might not work. It might not work. All I know is that I wish you success in your potty training journey. It's not easy, but we can do it. We can do it. By the way, have you subscribed to my channel? If you're seeing me for the very first time, maybe YouTube recommended this video to you, don't you want to subscribe and join the family? Don't worry, you got subscribe, join us, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay blessed. We are gonna see ourselves in the next video. Bye.
I gotta tell you something I could do. I could be running around chasing you, but I won't. 'Cause I got better things to do. Rather spend my precious time